Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the restream, Jose Garza. Let's turn these guys down a little bit. Oh, Tony Lopez showed up. Welcome. Oh, so that's bright. Let's handle the backlight. Better? All right. So I'm going to talk for a little bit while we wait for a couple more people to join us. Like I said, it is a special day today. This is episode 25 of the Nooner. So that in itself is special. Special. All right. So welcome, episode 25 of the Nooner. My name is David Bradley. I got an orange here. Orange? There's meaning for this. Hold on. So yesterday we got some news that Wayne Dyer transitioned. So I'm going to be talking about Wayne today. Wayne had a huge impact on my life. For those of you that are just joining us, if this is your first time being present for the Nooner, this is every day at 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time. I like to come in and drop a little noontime nugget about either sales or business or life. Just to give you something, this little extra to take with you into the rest of your day. If you've had lunch for your body, right, you need fuel. Fuel is motivation, right? And fuel is, you run out. You got to continually refuel, right? Think of motivation like gas for your car. It's a great analogy, right? Motivation does not last forever. So you got to keep fueling your tank of motivation. So I want to hit you guys up every single weekday from 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and give you some gas. You've had lunch for your body. I'm going to give you lunch for your brain. I'm going to help you fuel up. Boom, bounce into the rest of your day. Motivational speaker. That was Wayne Dyer. Yes, sir. He was a motivational speaker. He was also an author of countless books. He started as a therapist and then transitioned into an author and then into a speaker. And Mr. Dyer passed away yesterday. Or transitioned. I don't know if I really even like the word death. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, because for him, he'd already sort of connected with infinity and beyond. And there's your Buzz Lightyear connection. So who am I? My name is David Bradley. I'm a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone. I've been working with Grant for the last 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March, to be exact. We go into companies, we help them increase production, usually to the tune of 15 to 30%, simply by helping them find and then handle missed opportunity in the organization. So if you're in sales or business and you are looking for an increase in your production by 15%, it doesn't matter where you're at. Okay, if you're just starting out, or if you're already taking names and kicking, you know what? Okay, I can get you another 15 to 30%. My email address, david@grantcardone.com. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm also the author of a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. That book journals my experience with trying to stop smoking. I tried to quit multiple times, failed miserably, and then finally figured it out. So I wrote a book about it so I could share that with other people. So if you or anybody you know is trying to kick the habit, feel free to check out stopdon'tquit.com. I'm also the founder of a hashtag, soon-to-be book, called Richmans Gym. This is home-based strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. Okay, you just don't go to the gym to work out to get big muscles. If you do that right, you get stronger, not just your heart, but your heart, and your mind gets stronger as well. So that's what that book is about, and it's a work in progress right now. But if you follow that hashtag, Richmans Gym, you can see some cool stuff already. So again, today I just want to pay tribute to this man who had an influence on me, who had an effect on me, There is a few different things. This book here, The Power of Intention. Okay, if you look at it, if you just look at the top, look, I've got bookmarks. It's highlighted. Pages are falling out. I mean, this book literally had a huge impact on me, not just as an individual, but it had an impact on my selling career. Very special book. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, dig in. Without getting too much into the nitty and the gritty details, I'm also several years sober now, and that book paid a huge contribution to me, not only with stopping smoking, but staying stopped and not consuming alcohol anymore. So if you need to connect to your higher purpose a little bit deeper, a little bit better, that book could have a huge impact on you. So earlier I'd mentioned I really didn't want to touch on death so much, is that I think even in this book he talks about it. He says that he's talking about somebody else who had passed away, and said that now he's gone to heaven, he's going to work from there because he can have more of an impact up there than he can here. He was talking about somebody who had had a heart attack and died rather suddenly, and the message was that, you know, you're just going somewhere else. It's just a journey. It's a transition. So death is so like sudden and finite, and that's not what this universe is about. So I don't really want to say that he died. He just sort of passed away, transitioned, moved on to something bigger and better. So what I thought would be really great to do today is to drop 7 different quotes on you that I've seen from him that moved me, had an impact on how I think. And the reason I picked 7 is that this book, The Power of Intention is basically just another word for God. And he gives intention, or God, 7 faces. And those faces are creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, abundance, and receptivity. So I thought 7 different quotes would be great. And then the last thing I'm going to do is read you his Facebook post, the last message he left on Facebook, because I thought that was very, very powerful. And as a last message goes, I mean, as far as, well, it may not be his last message. I mean, what do we know, okay? But as far as the last one, while he was physically present on this planet, it's a doozy, okay? So without further ado, this is my tribute to Wayne Dyer, 7 quotes that have changed my life. First one: change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. This goes for everything. This goes for people in your life. This goes for your current life situations. How you approach something, how you see it, is going to have a huge impact on what happens for you. So I'm going to go right to sales, for example, and I'll talk a little bit about how this impacted me as a salesperson. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you see a customer come on, if I was selling cars at the time, so if I see a customer show up on my lot, okay, if I look at him a certain way and make a certain decision about his ability to buy, or whether or not he's going to be cool with me or not, I'm pretty much going to get that. But if I start trying to see things from his point of view, from his perspective, from his experience, I change the way I look at things, and so then the things I look at, they totally change. Okay, so that's the first one. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. The second one, this is crucial, especially in this day and age. You ready for this? You may want to put on a seatbelt. If you're taking notes, write this down. Put it on a Post-it note. Stop being offended. The behavior of others isn't a reason to become immobilized. This society has gotten so hung up with being offended by stuff, it's just ridiculous. It's out of control. Knock it off. Stop being offended. It doesn't help you. Amen to that. Thank you, Tony Lopez. It just slows you down. Gets in your way, limits you, so just stop being offended, okay? Number 3, this is another big huger for me. Because when I first got into the sales occupation, that was not, like when I was in high school, someone said, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? When I was 3 years old, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, okay? I did not say automotive sales professional. It just did not come out of my mouth. It was not even considered. Now, granted, when I was a little kid going to Spring Honda with my dad to buy that red Civic, Tony Lopez, being in that dealership was fascinating to me, and sales, and that was very fascinating to me. But in terms of like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to play second base for the Dodgers. I want to be an astronaut, right? So the fact that I'm now in selling, it just wasn't that. So you start getting all these weird thoughts about like, oh man, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? Why? Why am I here? Okay, so if you're on this Meerkat stream right now and you're wondering that too, if you're not too sure on what your purpose is, you ready? I'm going to give it to you. This applies for every human being. If you breathe, if you take a breath, your purpose is this. Your purpose will only be found in the service of others and in being connected to something far greater than your body, mind, and ego. Okay? That's your purpose. Your purpose, I'm going to read it again. Your purpose will only be found in the service of others and in being connected to something far greater than your body, mind, and ego. Okay, so what do I do now? I work for Grant Cardone. I'm a sales and marketing manager. Okay? Grant's material took me from barely surviving in sales to thriving in it. So my purpose as a sales professional is to help other people that wind up in the sales profession not have to wing it ever again. Okay, and that is a purpose far greater than my body, mind, and ego. I want to help people. I don't think salespeople should ever have to suffer. Okay, so that's why I do what I do, and that's a purpose that is far better than my income stream, than the house I live in, than the location that I get to live in. Those are blessings, but it's not why I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Okay, so are you. So whatever it is that you're doing, as long as you're doing it from a place of service, you're on purpose. Kind of liberating, isn't it? Number 4. You won't recognize your genius aspect if you believe that you should accept your lot in life, think small, and not aim too high in order to avoid disappointment. Okay, so what does Grant talk a lot about in the 10X rule, right? Think big, act big, go big. Okay, this is it right here. Okay, these guys are on the exact same page. You won't recognize your genius aspect. You're a genius. I'm a genius. We're all geniuses. It's in there. Okay, you won't recognize it though if you believe that you should accept your lot in life. Whatever it is you've decided is the way it's supposed to go for you. If you accept that, nothing's going to happen for you in terms of being a genius. If you think small, if you're not aiming too high. Okay, so if you're on this right now, start thinking about, hey, what do I truly, really want in life? Where do I truly want to be? Where do I want to wake up every morning? Who do I want to wake up with? How am I going to create that? And that's exactly what you do. You co-create the whole deal. Okay, so but if you're stuck in, that's just the way it is. If you're stuck in, I'm not good enough for that. If you're stuck in, I don't want to get disappointed, right? That's that whole George McFly thing. I mean, what if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid? I mean, I don't know if I could take that kind of rejection. You know what? You need to learn how to take that kind of rejection. And don't settle. That's number 4. Okay, number 5. Don't die with your music still in you. Okay? So I don't know what you're up to, but I'm writing another book called Richmans Gym. I've written a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. I have a message. I'm on this Meerkat stream right now because I'm not going to die with my music still in me. Are you? What do you want to do? How do you want to communicate? How do you want to share who you are with the world? There's this great book I read in high school called My Name is Asher Lev. And the teacher, it's about a young kid who's trying to become a painter. And the teacher says, art is not art until it is displayed for the world for criticism. So what's your art? And it doesn't necessarily have to be art, right? But what is it? What's your music? Let it out. Don't die with it in you. Okay? I know Mr. Dyer did not transition, pass on. He left it all on the mat. It's a UFC reference, but I mean, he left it all there. Right? And he's probably still going to continue creating even over there. You just got to be aware of it and look for it because it'll show up if you're aware of it. Which leads me to this, which is number 6. I am in this world, but I am not of this world. Kind of a tongue twister. You could screw that up. Hey, TJF Starks, thank you for liking this and the restream. Thank you also, Vernon Bradley, for the liking and the restream. What was that again, though? I am in this world, but I am not of this world. Okay? I'm not going to get too into that. Just think on that. Let it sit on you. Take it with you the rest of your day. I am in this world, but I am not of this world. The only thing I'm going to add to that is think about this. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Okay? Mr. Dyer's temporary human experience lasted 75 years. But he's not done. And there's a lot more to do. Okay? Number 7. Anytime you start a sentence with I am, you are creating what you are and what you want to be. So in a few other nooners, I've talked about what Grant says about everything happens to me, everything happening to me happens because of me. Okay, you want to be at cause for what happens to you in your life. Okay, this adds fuel to that fire. This adds a lot of wood to that baby, right? Look, anytime you start a sentence with I am, you are creating what you are and what you want to be. So when you make a mistake, what do you say? I am so stupid. Is that what you say? Because that means you're just creating it. And then the universe goes to work at fulfilling what you put out there. Okay? So think about that when you say I am. Whatever comes after that, it's like a prompt on a computer. So be very, very aware of what comes after I am. And let's just throw the universe and the God concept out of it. Why would you want to admit to that? You're right. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at. See, it's all. Okay, so I'm going to read his last Facebook post. Thank you, Tony Lopez. Glad you love that. I love it too. Here's his last Facebook post. I'm gonna try very hard to not choke up right now, so I'm gonna get this out so you can hear it. Okay. This was posted on Facebook by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer on August 29th, 4:47 p.m. Pacific time. He says, and I quote, I was preparing to speak at an I Can Do conference. So there's a conference called I Can Do It. I was preparing to speak at an I Can Do It conference, and I decided to bring an orange on stage with me as a prop for my lecture. I opened a conversation with a bright young fellow of about 12 who was sitting in the front row. If I were to squeeze this orange as hard as I could, what would come out? I asked him. He looked at me like I was kind of crazy and said, juice, of course. Do you think apple juice would come out of it? I asked. No. He laughs. What about grapefruit juice? No. Well, what would come out of it? Orange juice, of course. Why? Why, when you squeeze an orange, does orange juice come out? He may have been getting a little exasperated with me at this point. Well, it's an orange, and that's what's inside. I nodded. Let's assume that this orange isn't an orange, but it's you. And someone squeezes you, puts pressure on you, says something you don't like, offends you. And out of you comes anger and hatred, bitterness, fear. Why? The answer, as our young friend had told us, is because that's what's inside. It's one of life's great lessons. What comes out when life squeezes you? When someone hurts or offends you? If anger, pain, and fear come out of you, it's because that's what's inside you. It doesn't matter who does the squeezing, your mother, your brother, your children, your boss, the government. If someone says something about you that you don't like, what comes out of you is what's inside. And what's inside is up to you. It's your choice. When someone puts pressure on you and out of you comes anything other than love, it's because that's what you've allowed to be inside of you. Once you take away all the negative things you don't want in your life and replace them with love, you'll find yourself living a highly functioning life. Thanks, my young friend. And here's an orange for you. Those were his last words on Facebook. That's how I'm wrapping up this nooner. It's Monday. Go out there and have an amazing week. Okay? If you got people that are close to you, you never know. Make sure they know how much you love them. Have an orange today. I'm David Bradley. This has been your nooner. Thanks for watching. Godspeed, Wayne Dyer. First star to the right, straight on till morning, my brother. See you guys tomorrow.